Welcome dear students. In this video I will complete the glycolytic pathway from stage 4 to stage 10. Now up to this stage 3 we have seen that glucose is converted into glucose 6-phosphate to fructose 6-phosphate and then fructose 1,6-bisphosphate, and these all molecules are 6 carbon molecules. But in this fourth step, this fructose 1,6-bisphosphate actually cleaved into two products, that is 3 carbon molecules called triose. And this reaction is actually a aldol reactions. So let me write the name of the product, and this is the actually two product actually cleaved, and let me draw like this. So what is happening here, this one product fructose 1,6-bisphosphate is actually cleaved into two product. One I can write here the name DHAP. In short, the full name of DHAP is dihydroxy acetone phosphate. Okay, easy, dihydroxy acetone phosphate. And the other product is the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. This two product is actually 3 carbon molecules, contain 3 carbon. Now the enzyme name is aldolase. I have mentioned that the breakdown of this fructose is actually aldol reactions, and the cleavage occurs, as you can remember, C3 to C4 bond. You have to remember that this aldolase is actually performing a reversible reactions. Okay, a reversible reactions. This aldolase is actually performing reversible. That means these two products can join to form fructose 1,6-bisphosphate. So aldol reactions means it can cleave or it can create the C3-C4 bonds. Now this DHAP can also be converted into this product. You have to understand, DHAP can be converted into glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate, and the enzyme is called TPI. In short I am writing here. So this is the DHAP. TPI full form is triose, as because these are 3 carbons, so it is called triose phosphate. Now it's called isomerase. So these are 2 isomer, and it's converting this DHAP, means dihydroxy acetone phosphate, to glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Then the number of this glyceraldehyde phosphate is 2. So there are 2 glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. So this is the fourth step, and this is the 5th step of glycolysis. Now the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is converted into another product. So can you see here that all these reactions are actually bidirectional, or you can say it is reversible reactions. Reversible. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate. At first let me draw all the product name. Then this product is actually converted into another product called 3-phosphoglycerate. Okay, in short you can remember this 1,3-BPG. You can remember this glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate G3P. Okay, now this 3-phosphoglycerate you can remember 3PG to another product. It is also reversible in reactions, and it produces 3-phosphoglycerate to 2-phosphoglycerate. So you can remember it's 2PG, and from this 2PG it produces another product called phosphoenol pyruvate. You can remember this name as, in short, PEP, phosphoenol pyruvate. And ultimately I am writing here, this phosphoenol pyruvate actually make another product called the ultimate last product of this pathway called pyruvate. Okay, this is the last step. So let me draw the number of this pathway. Like this is the 5th, this is 6th, this is the 7th, this is 8, this is 9, and this is 10. So what is happening here? 2-glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is converted into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate, 1,3-BPG. Another, you can say that here a phosphate group is added to the 1 number carbon. So the reaction should add some phosphate group. Enzyme name, yes, enzyme name is glyceraldehyde. You can remember this product, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Okay, dehydrogenase. All this product is actually very related with this naming of the enzyme. You can see here glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Now the enzyme that is converting this into 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate is glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate but dehydrogenase. Same I can say here like the glucose 6-phosphate to fructose 6-phosphate means glucose 6-phosphate isomerase. So all the naming actually very related. Like aldolase means aldol reactions. Triose phosphate isomerase means this is a triose means 3 carbon molecule. It makes the isomerase. So you can remember the name glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase. Also you can remember the short name GAPDH, GAPDH, GAPDH. Now here in the 6th step a very important and crucial thing occurs, that is the production of a coenzyme that is called nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, okay, called NAD. His name is nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Sorry, dinucleo. Now the name is NAD, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. The reaction is here NAD plus 2pi inorganic phosphate, and remember these are 2 NAD plus because here 2 phosphoglyceraldehyde is present. So I have to write all these molecules 2, that is these molecules remain 2, these molecules will be 2, and this 2-pyruvate you have to remember. So the ultimate product is 2-pyruvate, that is 3 carbon molecule. All the molecules are 3 carbon from this state. Okay, now the product is 2NADH plus 2H plus. Okay, I will tell you the overall reaction of this glycolysis in the last. So just remember in this step a very important product is actually produced. This is called NADH. It is actually a electron carrier that helps in this electron transport chain. So must remember this thing. Now this 2-phosphate group actually added at the 1 positions. Okay, another thing is from the 1,3-bisphosphoglycerate it produces 3-phosphoglycerate. So there should be some enzymes. The name of the enzyme is phosphoglycerate kinase. See here is a kinase enzyme. It removes the first phosphate group from the product, and by this way it actually make a very important product that is called ATP. So ADP is converted into ATP. Remember the number also 2 because there are 2 this product. So this phosphoglycerate kinase is actually making this ADP to ATP by the help of this phosphate group that is present in the 1 position of this molecule. Now this type of productions of generations of ATP is not the oxidative phosphorylation. I have mentioned in my first video. The generation at the stage 4 ATP generation is called oxidative phosphorylation, but this type of ATP generation is called, you must remember this thing, this type of generation is called substrate level phosphorylations. Substrate level phosphorylations. Why it is called substrate level phosphorylation? Because I am telling you here the substrate is ADP. So in this reaction, as much as ADP are present and as much as glucose are present, as much as the substrate are present, it can produce ATP. Okay, as much as the substrate are present, it can produce. So it depends on the substrate level, but here it depends on the oxidative, means oxygen. So here is the difference. Now this phosphoglycerate kinase converts its 3-phosphoglycerate. Now the 3-phosphoglycerate is actually converted into 2-phosphoglycerate. So there should be some changes, and actually an enzyme is responsible called phosphoglyceromutage. What happens here? You can see that this 3-phosphoglycerate, that means the number 3 carbon has a phosphate group. Now the number 2 carbon has the phosphate group. So this enzyme actually, this mutage enzyme actually exchange the phosphate group from 3 carbon to 2 carbon. Just simple these reactions. Now another enzyme called enolase actually make the phosphoenol pyruvate from the 2-phosphoglycerate, enolase, and by the way it actually remove 2 water molecules. 2 water molecules actually removed. Now the last step is very important, because you can see I have mentioned that in the glycolysis pathway there are 10 molecules, 10 enzymes are present. Among them 3 enzymes are actually rate limiting enzyme, like hexokinase I have mentioned, phosphofructokinase PFK1, and the last product is the last enzyme, that is called pyruvate kinase. Must remember, pyruvate kinase. This enzyme is also a rate limiting enzyme. Why? You can see here all the steps are reversible. Only this step, first, third and 10th step are irreversible. And this pyruvate kinase actually acts as a allosteric enzyme. That means it can be controlled or regulated by other molecules, like here ATP actually inhibit this molecule. Remember this, ATP actually inhibit this molecule. I have mentioned in this step also that when cells sense that it has adequate amount of ATP, it will not go through this pathway. So if there is high concentration of ATP, it will inhibit the pyruvate kinase. Now let me write some fact in this step, that is, in this step ATP also generated. ATP, remember here is a kinase that actually produce ATP. Here is also a kinase that also produce ATP from ADP. So this is also the substrate level phosphorylation. So these 2 steps are substrate level phosphorylations, because this is a kinase enzyme that actually transfer the phosphate group from this product to the ADP to make ATP. So this is the all reactions you can remember. And the important fact about the glycolysis is how much we gain energy as the ATP. Now let me check. Can you see here that one ATP molecule is actually destroyed? In this step also one ATP molecule is destroyed. So there are 2 negative ATP molecules. So there is no gain up to this 3rd step. Now at the step of 7 we gain 2 ATP, and at the step of 10 we also get 2 ATP. So ultimate gain of ATP is actually 2 ATP. So this is only 2 ATP we get from glucose to pyruvate. Yeah, pyruvate. But yeah, another important electron carrier that helps in this electron transport chain and helps in the generation of proton motive force, that helps in the ATP generation. So it is indirectly helps in the production of ATP. I will show you in when I will talk about the electron transport chain and ATP generation by ATP synthase enzyme. So we will count this product also. So 2 ATP plus 2 NADH is our net gain is our net gain. Must remember this. Okay. Another thing is, I can write the overall reaction is actually from the glucose to pyruvate. From the glucose to pyruvate, because two molecules of pyruvate are produced. But here, actually, 4 hydrogen ions are released and 4 electrons are released. And this 4 hydrogen and 4 electron react with this NAD plus molecules. So 4 hydrogen and 4 electron actually interact with this molecule and produce 2 NADH and 2H plus. Can you see here? Yeah, here 2 NADH. So 2 hydrogen are actually captured, but 2 hydrogen is actually released, but 4 electrons are actually present in this NADH coenzyme. So it is called electron carrier. So this electron will play an important role in electron transport chain. So hope this video will help you. Thank you for watching, and always keep learning.